Welcome back to the channel, guys, to a beautiful Pacific Northwest day. Today we are back on the Mercedes and we are gonna fix something that's been bothering me since the day that I bought this thing. I'm not the tallest guy in the world, but at 6 foot, for some reason, maybe because my legs are a little bit longer, I do not fit as comfortably as I would like to underneath this steering wheel. If I'm sitting comfortably to the point where the knees are bent correctly and everything, I can barely fit my hand underneath if I have to make sharp turns or otherwise. It feels dangerous, honestly, to the point. So I have to continuously drive up here and figure that out. It's too uncomfortable. Luckily, there is what I would consider a period correct solution to this. These W201 190Es did come in a few different trim packages and a few different levels. You can have either a rubber steering wheel, a leather wrap steering wheel, and then in between, depending on which one you had, if you had the Cosworth or if you had the diesel, or if you had even at one point the AMGs or the Evos. Some of them came with the same steering wheels, very similar steering wheels, but the differentiating ones were eventually the AMG ones. And the AMG ones came from Momo. They were a what would you call it, prong steering wheel, and it looked very 80s. You can find those, I'm sure. I doubt that they're very cheap, but I'm not a huge fan of that 80s look, even though the car is very 80s. Now, there are other manufacturers like Porsche and stuff like that that use Momo steering wheels and stuff. So I figured, well, I also really enjoy a wood grain wheel, and there were some custom made ones. There were some later models that had not the 201s, but other Mercedes models that had nice wood grain wheels the way that I like them. So I set out to find something that I'm gonna like that also seems very period correct. So it was gonna be a Momo wheel, it was gonna be a wood grain wheel, and preferably, obviously, some sort of rubber or some sort of leather on it. And that's exactly what I found with this guy, all the way out of Japan for myself. I'm sure you can find it somewhere else. I forgot exactly the model of Momo wheel this is, but leather grips, wood grain wheel, and it's got that nice finish on the center. And to go along with that, obviously, I have the hub adapter that goes with it and everything. The only thing about this wheel, though, that is not to my liking is that silver center. It is a nice finish, but it just doesn't work with the rest of the interior. So what we're gonna do is actually paint this guy a nice black. We're gonna start off first with painting it, because while the paint dries and stuff, we can work on installing the hub and everything. To paint it, I am gonna use this Steel It black. Obviously, all the reviews online say that it's fantastic. It is a little pricier, and hopefully that's actually going to be the benefit, is that because it's such a high quality paint, it's going to give a really good finish and it's going to last a really long time. Whether you touch this or not, oils and stuff from your hands are going to get on it. A little bit of abrasion just from your hands going around it, whether for the horn or otherwise. You want it to look good and you want it to last while look good. So before we paint, we're going to give both surfaces a nice little scuff, just enough for it to stick. Obviously that looks really dope with the Momo right there, and we want to maintain that, but we'll give it a quick scuff with 600-ish and spray it, tape it, let it dry, and then we can install the hub. like I said, while that dries, we're gonna start with the hub. First thing to do is unhook that battery because we do have an airbag that we have to deal with. With the battery unhooked, we can locate the 2 screws on each side here that hold the airbag in. We can pop that guy out. I did replace a rubber steering wheel with a leather one, which at the time I thought, you know what, the leather one is nicer anyway, but I'm just too tall for it. So this thing is in the way. That new steering wheel I think is 13.5 inches. This one I think is a whopping 18, or that one might be 14 inches, not sure. Anyway, smaller. So gonna pull this guy out. We do have to deal with the airbag, and to avoid an airbag light, I am gonna wire in a resistor, and I'll show you guys that as well. Hopefully it works out so that we don't have that light. Obviously we're just gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that the light doesn't glow but actually functions, because the seat belts do have tensioners in it, so I would like that to work at least. Oh wow, that thing's tight. This is gonna be tricky. Jeez, I didn't realize I tightened it that tight. Jeez, what is the deal? I was scared to use the steering wheel lock, but turns out that that's the trick. So now, get that bolt off. Should be able to pull this guy off. Man, did it put up a fight though. For S's and G's, we're just gonna try this and we're gonna compare it. So it looks like 9 pounds, 4.6 ounces. And then afterwards we'll take the new wheel and the hub and we'll see how much it weighs. With that guy off, we can go ahead and try to mount the hub on here, and then we'll deal with the horn. The tricky part is I thought that there was going to be a wire coming out of here that deals with the airbag. I saw online that somebody was able to get the airbag wire from behind the gauge cluster. So that's probably what I'm going to have to do in the future, not today. As far as today, I'm going to go ahead and try to get this thing mounted on here, see how that looks, put that wheel in, and then at the very least get the horn to work, which should be easy because those prongs just have to meet up to here. To make the horn work, all it is these 2 wires. When they touch, they beep. For the steering wheel, you have this guy right here that acts as like the one side of the circuit, and then this guy goes into the button. These get sandwiched together underneath the steering wheel, and then through here is where the button, and when you press it, it makes contact with this, which then creates a closed circuit and you get your horn. So now let's see if that steering wheel dried enough, and we'll be extra gentle regardless and get it mounted over here. I forgot to film the hub, but online it says that the hub is only 1.5 pounds. So we're going to try this wheel and see what it says. 2 pounds, 11. I'm going to call that 11.5 ounces. And this thing, only 3 ounces. This paint is still a little soft, so we're going to be super careful with it. Got a little chillier. But first, we need to put that button in. Later I'll tighten them down with the torque wrench to actual specs, but for now it's pretty good to just look at. Huge difference that this steering wheel made. It's actually pretty wild. The smaller it is, the less kind of leverage that you get compared to like the original one. So you get that sense of tightness to it. Maybe, maybe not, but that's how I perceive it at least. And obviously it made a world of difference with how much space I have all the way around the wheel. My knees actually fit now. Before I close out though, I want to give a quick measurement to the Lexus and the Audi. They have similar yet completely different steering wheels. So we're going to see how that compares. And then also, I have a go-kart. So we're going to check and see how that compares to, for example, this guy, which feels significantly smaller than these two. So this one is at 13, about what I said in a previous clip. Yeah, about 15 inches. The Audi is about 15 as well. I'm actually surprised. I thought the Audi would be smaller, but it is at 15. Now for stock comparison, let's look at the diesel. We're looking at about 15.5. This is a go-kart wheel, 12 inches. As of late, I actually enjoy making the longer form videos, and I save up parts so that I can do so. But we just drive this thing so often that I really wanted to swap out that wheel. It's been staring at me for, I would imagine, almost 6 months now. So I figured a quick 10-15 minute video, whatever this turns into, why not throw it in there? And then there's plenty of time for other mods, other projects around the car, and obviously all these other cars. There's stuff coming for all of these. It's just a matter of having time. So if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave whatever comments, questions, or concerns you have down at the bottom, and we'll catch you guys next time.